everybody else in remembrance of the man.
Shout out to the good doctor.
Yeah.
The good doctor. We fortunate enough to work one of them jobs where we get that day off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bless.
So.
Like the mailman.
It's our time, you know.
So, this MLK weekend, important just like any other one in the year fall, but Sister Jada Pinkett Smith had some interesting comments. She had some ideas she wanted to drop on MLK weekend. She decided that the Oscars wasn't diverse enough and that all black entertainers should boycott it. So she had some controversial statements, some controversial thoughts on that. And
my thing is Jada picked the wrong time for the wrong message. You know what I mean? Like the Oscars is not a diverse thing at all. You know what I mean? But she would she be in the fight if it was no Will Smith picture this year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it a coincidence that Will has a picture that she thinks is Oscar worthy? You know what I mean?
And that's her opinion, but
yeah, in her opinion, you know, she now she wants to speak up for everybody. You know, they don't speak up for no other social issues. You know, they have a big production company in Hollywood. They're up 200 million.
Yep.
You know,
she might have felt the good doctor omen and felt like this is the best time to boycott. Right. You never know.
And she's asking some struggling actors, guys who barely get work, to boycott an event that they're invited to and get their chance to work the room with some higher ups.
Because Hollywood is all networking and relationships.
Right. So
she already had her chance.
These people got a chance to go there and network and meet some other folk. Yep. She wants them to burn their only bridge to success.
Yeah.
Are you going to employ those guys? You know, are you ready for that? Are they ready for that leadership? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but Tyler Perry can't employ everybody.
Yeah, she already
can't employ everybody.
She's been through the burning sands already, basically, when it comes to network with everybody and doing different things to get to the point that she is now.
They joined Scientology with the hopes of winning these types of awards, these uppity up awards. But since that's backfired, now it's kind of come back home and say, oh, we should boycott the awards. Yeah. When the Academy Awards has no diversity. You know what I mean?
They started speaking French when they was in their entrance. That we should.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, at the same time, it's still kind of, it's biased because, like, we got older guys that's voting on the situation and voting who should deserve an Oscar and who shouldn't. But
we got 7-year-old guys who fell in love with Casablanca trying to judge straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do that.
It doesn't, they don't always see the greatness in the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't see the
being that you know the critic, you know?
Yeah, it's cultural differences, it's generational differences. It's going to be a lot that they not going to pick up.
Right.
I understand.
And a lot of bias. But I don't just want to play a little bit of what Jada was saying, what she asked.
King's birthday. And I can't help but ask the question, is it time that people of color recognize how much power, influence that we have amassed, that we no longer need to ask to be invited anywhere? I ask the question, have we now come to a new time and place where we recognize that we can no longer beg for the love, acknowledgement, or respect of any people?
I just wanted to say that the music in the background is a fan added it. It's not there was no music when she made this this speech or this request initially.
Public service announcement.
Gotta know that.
Hey, Will's a great actor. Why does Will need White Daddy to pat him on the head and say he did a good job?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
And she basically just saying that we don't need no one to ask us to do anything. We don't need no one to invite us anywhere. So why are you asking everybody else to
ride your way?
Ride
your way.
You already paid.
My whole
like
thing
you said,
about
you got struggling actors already that's really trying to go through the same burning sands that you went through.
Yeah.
Go through the same threshold. Go through the same white Hollywood. I hate to say it, but that's what it is in Hollywood. So, I mean, they got bills like everybody else. You pay now. So,
My whole thing about it is, it's just the timing is bad. It makes it seem insincere.
Right.
The timing makes it seem opportunistic. I don't know what's in her heart, and I hope that this is for a good reason. You know, people call them real good people in Hollywood. You know, all kind of entertainers they all attest to, you know, the Smiths, they good people, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean...
But no one's willing to back this.
Right.
Because they don't feel sincerity on behalf of Jada. Jada is in this for the wrong fight.
Right.
She got selfish reasons for this one. You know? Does Will deserve an Academy Award for this?
For
no.
concussion?
For concussion and a horrible accent. You know what I mean? Nah, he could have done a little better, you know. The accent sounds like a grocery store, a Jamaican grocery store, man.
I got 3 jobs, man.
I mean, are they gonna really start hiring people when people go on this quest with them? Are you gonna hire them? Are you gonna basically help them out and pay their bills so to help them feed their family? Since you're asking them to do such a big task.
Yeah,
because
not
they're
only
already
that,
paid. So
are they ready to do a lot of independent ventures? Because if you snub Hollywood at this point, you making a bad situation with the people that run the production company,
Right,
the
yeah.
distribution companies, the big labels that could put this budget behind it that you need. But I'm just play a little more of what Jada said.
Will's at this point in his career where they can make these statements and still get good work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
he's still gonna fucking get paid off of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well, my man from
She
Blackish,
get paid off different world.
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson, if Anthony Anderson gonna step out of line, he's done. Show canceled.
Yeah, that counts for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's doing stand up in 2 years.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So
True story.
you gotta really think about what you're asking people to do. You know what I mean? When you ask them to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because the social issues of the times right now are really high. We got a lot of really good social issues that we could use Will and Jada's help on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they not choosing to speak about those. They want to speak about rewards.
But they stand in their lane, just like we talked about LeBron staying in his lane when he doing certain things for basketball, in his own lane, like wearing hoodies for Tremaine or you know, helping out his community. They stand in their lane and doing what they know.
Asking for an award when you've been well paid, that's not staying in your lane. They get paid good. That's the reward that you should be asking for. I take fair pay over the award any day.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I take fair pay over the award, and Will gets paid just as much as any white actor. You know what I mean?
I don't need your pat on the back. I need my check to clear.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. But for one, don't they have their own production company right now?
Yeah, but that production company only produces their friends. They don't step out the box. You know.
They haven't discovered anybody.
Right. They haven't discovered nobody. They haven't made anybody. They have the way, you know. But they only seem to employ Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin and Regina King.
You know? They're feeding their friends.
Yeah. So it's the same. They got a little shish clique that they only mess with. You know?
Yeah, the circle is very, very small.
Oh, very, very small.
It looks big. Hollywood looks big, but the circle is very, very small.
Most definitely.
So, I mean, you know, either you in or you out. If you blackballed, you just blackballed.
This is a little more of what she had to say on it. You can YouTube this, Google this.
What?
She got the hiccups.
Pull back our resources and we put them back into our communities, into our programs, and we make programs for ourselves that acknowledge us in ways that we see fit, that are just as good as the so-called mainstream ones. I don't know.
I agree with you on that part.
You got to.
Just the wrong time.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Begging,
You could have said this with Freddie Grant. You could have said this with, Freddie Gray. You could have said this with Oscar Grant, who was out there in California with y'all years ago, who they made a movie about.
and let's not forget it. So, let's not forget it.
Like I said, I feel like she felt the spirit of the great doctor, and she felt like enough is enough. She need to say what she need to say, and that was it. There's really no time frame on when you feel like when you feel the way you feel to say what you need to say. I mean, she's at a point now. Now, if she would have said this 10, 15 years ago, she would be on no levels that she is now.
Oh no, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they would have completely blackballed.
Blackballed.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
probably should have been wrote off different world. You know what I'm saying? So
The second part of her video, I
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with wholeheartedly. We should take our resources, you know what I mean, and put them together. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's been long overdue. You know what I mean? We make culture. We run pop culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
long overdue that we pull our resources
about that,
and
right.
make something, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that's just as equal as mainstream. That's totally agreeable. But as far as boycotting, asking people to boycott when they barely get good roles in Hollywood, it's a stretch. It's a stretch, Jada.
but how can she basically tell people to? You can't tell people on camera to basically infiltrate the circle to get what you want, even though it's done every day. But you can't tell people on camera because then everybody's gonna expect certain people outside the circle to come infiltrate the circle. We know you're just here to try to get what you need. Then start your own company or business.
You
Like the
saying
feds.
that's you saying
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
what?
That's what the feds do every day, or certain communities. That's what they do. They infiltrate to see how you're thinking, just like we talked about Mr. Bundy over there in Oregon.
Right.
The feds infiltrated. Well,
But, I mean-
what we said, we thinking the feds maybe got a couple of people inside the militia to see what's going on.
Right.
It's the same thing. If we can do that, that'd be a great thing. But how can you
You
pass that
saying as
message?
far as people being able to be on the Academy Award nomination board or something?
I'm saying, as far as to get your check up to the point that we can raise our own community.
Listen, we have the resources to do that now.
You know,
We got.
But everybody we have right now, to the resources that we have, are not spending any money. They still worried about themselves, to the point, in my opinion. I don't see, even though Oprah might do great things, it's just not publicized. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see her helping our community out at all. That's one.
Well, I don't want to be too biased in the
I
situation
don't.
when it comes to the Oscars, but I do want to give the people a list of the movies and the actors that are up for the Oscars. And you know, you've been watching, you've been following. The trending topic on it is hashtag Oscars so white. So you can check that out and you make the judgment for yourself. But for Best Picture for the 2016 Academy Awards, they have The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. And none of these movies are starring black actors, but
And
that's
I
that's
haven't
just
heard
you
of
can
it.
go look.
Yeah.
You can go check it out for yourself. The leading actors or actor in the leading
Of all
role.
those, I only seen The Martian.
And of all, I've only heard of maybe 4 or 5 out the 8. So
Well, you know, they always
Come
have
on.
some kind of movie that comes out of Left Wing that did great at Tribeca or,
Right.
you know, these international film festivals.
Some independent film always
Yeah,
get
yeah.
critically
Yeah.
acclaimed.
Always.
You know.
For actors in the leading role, they got Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, Matt Damon for The Martian, DiCaprio for The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. So, I mean, just pretty much all of the categories are pretty much just white people. I mean, you know, you can go look yourself. Please do. You can go to the Oscars
Right.
homepage.
So yeah, Jada, you know, is Will's performance worthy of an Oscar this year? Probably not. Are there a couple other movies where we got some actors that are worthy of a performance of a nominee at least?
Okay. Now the question is, if you're saying that Concussion or Will and his role in Concussion deserved an Oscar, which of the 8 best pictures was good enough? I mean, was not as good as
concussion.
Concussion.
Take it off.
because it has to replace something. So out of the 8, you got The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, Spotlight, Room, The Revenant, and The
We
Martian.
can't be objective because we didn't watch all these movies.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Never
That's
heard
true.
of The Big Short.
Right.
Never heard of Spotlight.
Hey, the movies is out there. But we just didn't watch it.
I'm not
You know
saying.
what I mean?
I'm not saying
to
from
judge,
our
to
opinion.
judge them. I'm going by what I've seen of Concussion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
For me to back Will Smith in Concussion this year,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Because an Oscar-worthy film is a film that you can watch throughout time. Will we agree on that?
Forever.
It's a classic.
Right.
Is Concussion a classic?
No.
Is
No.
it classic material? Is CTE in football and concussion studies and
That's a great
litigation
message.
on the
It's a
NFL?
great
Is
message.
that something that you can watch for the next 40 years?
It's a great message, but I never seen it, so I can't have an opinion on it. But at the same time, listening to my man Barry right here, it's kind of funny because just the footage of the little clips I've seen of his accent
Yeah.
could be better.
Okay. Cool. All
My
right.
opinion.
Now.
Now, can we bring it back to I Am Legend? Is I Am Legend? Can you watch that for the next 40 years?
I think so.
I think
it's
so,
one of them-
too.
I think it's one of
It's
them
something they
times,
still
yeah.
play on.
And he didn't get
regular
nominated for I
TV.
Am Legend either.
And he didn't get nominated for it. That was a great move.
Right.
But, either
Yeah,
either
but-
you have to play a villain, somebody to say, make me feel good, make me feel good all the time, or you gotta
Yeah, he a bed witch. That's
you
what
know what I'm
makes you feel
saying?
good.
Or you gotta play something outside of your brain, like you slow or something, to get an Oscar
It has to be a
a-
derogatory role. It has to be
as a black
something
person. You know what I'm
typecast
saying?
and a negative stereotype. Well, now, my friend, you sound like this lady.
Who was this lady?
Some growing outrage with some over the lack of diversity on this year's list of Oscar nominees. Filmmaker
Dash?
Spike Lee and actress Jada
Nah,
Pinkett
man.
Smith say they're not going to go to the Oscars next month after an all-white list of nominees was announced for the major.
Hey,
I disagree.
Chirac didn't deserve shit Oscar word. And I got love for Spike.
Got
I'm
plenty of love
sorry.
for Spike.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
You know.
that shit wasn't going to the Oscars,
hey,
period.
hey, give it to Spike. Spike gives the black. He supports the
Oh,
black
yeah,
fight.
he fucking struggle.
Whether we
He
right or
fucking
wrong,
struggle.
Spike takes the black fight.
He
You know,
do.
that's how I gotta give Spike up. I gotta give it credit to Spike.
Yeah, I mean,
Spike
you
know that they ain't really got a leg to stand on. Do the Academy Awards need more diversity? Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Are they lacking a lot of minorities on the board? Hell yeah. You know what I
Oscars,
mean?
you mean the Oscars.
And the Academy Award, that's what they call it. And but you have to, you know what I mean? They got to get more inclusion in it. It has to be more inclusion. You know, we know this, and we've been knowing this. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But to my point, there's greater social issues right now that we can
To be
fighting
fighting than the Oscars.
than the
Yeah.
Oscars. You know. As
So-
far as Miss Coon, Stacey Dash,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
Alright,
She
hold
done
on,
stepped.
He done threw that C word
She done
out
stepped.
there.
She done stepped out of her lane. She's in this for entertainment. Fox News is straight entertainment.
Alright.
People go to Fox for news, you know, but that's not what they do.
We can't even play the
She's
clip now.
She's an opinion.
I got a question. All right. We heard Jada Pinkett's struggle. We agreed at the end. We know Spike Lee struggle. You understand? So the question is, are we all basically saying the same thing in different realms to try to come to one big conclusion?
No.
Because it's all about really building our own communities and our own resources to support ourselves, so we won't have to answer to no one else or have to feel.
No, that's two different parts of the story.
That's basically what she said, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't think so?
No.
I think in Stacey Dash's
I'm
situation.
talking about Jada Pinkett.
We gotta
I'm
play
not talking about
Stacey.
Stacey Dash.
Play Stacey.
Okay.
I'm talking about Jada Pinkett. Not
Well,
Stacey Dash.
let's see what
Move down,
Stacey
move down.
said.
Categories for a second year in a row. Join us now to weigh in, actress and Fox News contributor Stacey Dash. Stacey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Definitely not
Well, what do you
talking
think about this?
I think it's ludicrous
Why?
because we have to make up our minds. Either we want to have segregation or integration. And if we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black.
Yeah, wow.
That is a lie.
The furthest thing from the truth.
That is a lie. I mean, a blatant lie.
We looked this up. We looked this up ourselves. Right? Tell them.
So BET awards white people if they are in categories where they're making music or videos or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Case in point, Robin Thicke has won BET Awards. Justin Timberlake has won BET Awards. Justin Bieber has been nominated for BET Awards.
Right.
So to say that you only get them if you're black is an outright lie, first off. And then the second thing she says is the NAACP Image Awards. Okay, well, the Image Awards, which is the NAACP's, the NAACP was created by white people. So to say that there's no interest there is also an outright lie. So now you just understand that it's sensationalism. This is just from this point on, everything else out her mouth was either talking points written down and handed to her, or it's her blatantly ignoring the truth.
The truth.
To be sensational, to sell.
She's now she's just being opinionated, a bit opinionated. You know what I mean? For show.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this show leads to 10 other shows, which leads to 10 other shows, which leads to her own show.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Own.
That's what you do on Fox. You know, when you get your shot on Fox, you go there and you be as outlandish as you can be.
No facts for real.
Right. You don't have to have the facts on Fox. You know what I mean? Fox don't pay for facts.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? They want you to be opinionated, and if you fit to if you go to their side of the road, you get invited back. If you stay to the left, you're not coming back. You know, it's simple as that.
And they don't pay for integrity either. And I want to say that because that could tie in with her line, because my man Bill O'Reilly was having domestic issues that were highly publicized, and his daughter was saying that he was highly abusive to both her and her mother, and that was quickly quashed. It was really quickly silenced, and
Right.
he still retains the O'Reilly factor.
Right. That's because Rupert Murdoch, whose baby is Fox, Rupert Murdoch owns I want to say 90% of
News
media.
Corp.
You know what I mean?
That's his
So
company,
he
News Corp.
if he wants the story to die down, and O'Reilly is his number one
Cash
salesman.
cow. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
his cash cow.
Cash
You know
cow.
what I mean? His number one show on cable television.
Yes.
He's gonna sweep that under the story. There's no pictures. There's no video. Let's sweep this under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's no police.
Allegations.
Yeah.
Allegations.
If you don't got no police reports, no pictures, you know what I mean?
It just
No
speak-
video.
It just speaks to the fact that how can you believe a news source to be non-biased or truthful when they don't even have reporters or journalists who fit that description. But I just want to play a little bit more of what Stacey said. The controversy continues.
If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard.
Has been the
So
other way around.
you say there shouldn't a BET change?
No, I don't think so. No. Just like
The game called and asked for their money back.
there shouldn't be a Black History Month.
Oh my
You know,
God.
we're Americans. Period. That's it.
Are you saying there shouldn't be a Black History Month because there isn't a White History Month?
Exactly.
History is history, and that's the only month we have. You understand? When you grow up and you learn history, you only learn about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. You're not learning about Booker T. Washington or
W.E.B. Du Bois.
you're not learning about anything of that nature unless it's Black History Month. And most of the time in Black History Month, what I learned, that's when we learned that we were slaves at a young age. That's when the diversity starts at a young age, in my opinion. That's when one of your best friends, who's a white guy, start looking at you kind of differently, in my opinion, on certain situations. Some people in the class, not all, because it's either good or bad. That's how it should be in the world. But at the same time,
If ever you were to depict negative images or negative aspects of a people, you're always gonna make them feel inferior to some degree. And what I say by that, or
Yeah.
what I mean by that is, I remember reading about the Holocaust. And
Believe
I
the
remember
truth.
reading about the Germans, and in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like this is a country of just evil, vile motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure every German, even today or the ones back then, weren't completely, purely evil. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But that reinforcement of this negative
Negative energy.
this negative energy, these negative aspects of history,
Yeah, right.
but it's history.
Right.
You know, it makes you feel some sort of way. So I
And
understand.
it puts somebody in your mind subconsciously, always in a certain
The purpose,
reaction.
the purpose of Black History is to let people be aware that we did contribute to this country.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
it is, yeah.
Because they know the way they write the history books that we're not equally included in the books.
True.
So so Black History Month has its purpose. You know what I mean? It doesn't always include all of our great black leaders,
Okay.
not even leaders, black people who've contributed. You know what I mean? We get the same 10 guys.
I was going to say, the same. We were
You know
talking
what I
about Harriet Tubman,
Frederick Douglass,
Martin Luther
Benjamin
King.
Banneker,
Yeah.
the Peanut Butter Man.
You know, the people,
Now, much respect to George Washington Carver.
Carver.
Much respect. I'm not saying the Peanut Butter Man snubbing him or nothing. I respect his contribution
Yeah.
to the world.
I respect this guy's
But we
vision.
learned
I
that
just
in-
wish
But
he
that's
was
the way they deliver him to us. The peanut guy.
My point
Yeah.
is, we learned this in 2nd grade, then we learned in 3rd grade, then we learned in 4th grade, and it keeps going. We don't grow as a society, as a black culture, to learn more, to have some type of pride about what's going on within ourselves.
Yeah.
So we
You know
can
what I'm
agree
saying?
that either Stacey is just outrageously ignorant to reality, which I doubt, or she's just sensationalizing for a paycheck.
Hey, my man, I mean, you know, Damon Dash is her cousin, and he was on an interview with Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Yep.
And he basically was saying like she need a check. She ain't had a movie in a while. You know, they paid her a check to say certain things. He disagreed with a lot of things she said.
Right.
He don't understand it.
It
but
don't take her family
You know.
to not co-sign her. We know what Fox what Fox News do.
It is what it is.
And that's what Stacey went on there for. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she went on there to earn new checks. You know what I mean? Future checks.
That's it.
That's it.
You know, she found a way out. But while we on the Oscars, Hateful Eight did not get a nomination for Best Picture.
But we don't even know if Hateful Eight was up for this year's nominees
Yeah, maybe
or
next
next
year.
year's. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Okay,
I believe there's some Oscar-worthy
I don't think The Revenant was out that long before 2000, because Hateful Eight came out
This month.
This month?
January
No.
16, I think.
Really? I thought it came out in December. Well, we get ready to find
I
out.
think January
Yeah,
16. I looked it up. I
right.
think it's
Well, the
January
Hateful Eight,
16.
Sam, you know what I mean? He got one of them parts that could give him best supporting role. You know what I mean? In my opinion, but I'm not. I don't really watch award shows to be wanting awards. You know, I'm just giving my opinion today on. You know.
Oh yeah,
it
it's a pretty
came
good
out.
movie.
It came
though.
out a week before 2016. So
Yeah. So this might be next year's.
yeah, it might,
You know?
it might not be around long enough to get the box office numbers to
Yeah.
become Oscar worthy. But at
Nah,
the same time, the
it-
question is Sam gonna get a
Not just Sam.
Oscar for the situation?
Not just Sam.
No.
Sam was the only one in that movie to
Kurt Russell had a hell of a role.
Yeah. You
A
know
lot
what I mean?
of them,
Yeah.
though, but
Hangman
You know, but,
John Roof.
Sam had got one of them Oscar. I'm gonna say Oscar worthy performances, but Sam got one of them performances.
He did.
You know what I mean?
He
That
did.
you gotta take notice of.
You got
know
to.
what I mean? You gotta take notice of him.
You got to.
Kurt Russell showed their ass in this movie, man.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved it. I love movies that don't have a lot of
what's
different
the,
backgrounds.
What's the sheriff's name in the movie?
Walton Goggins, but his
Yeah.
name was Chris Mannix. His character's name was Chris
I like
Mannix.
him. He showed his ass in the movie.
He was a rebel. He's a Confederate boy.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think in terms of like Sam's performance, what makes it powerful, just like in Django, well actually it's opposite though, which is also dope. Cause in Django, he was everything that, you know, everybody else in the house and in the field hated.
Right.
But in the Hateful Eight, he's just a black man trying to make his way through the world in a
Right.
post-Civil War time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he does a good job conveying the difficulties of that and the emotional burden that came along with it. That's what makes his performance powerful in the Hateful Eight. I know we don't like as America to look at the polarizing side of the racial aspects, but that's what made his performance good in the movie. And Kurt Russell had an outstanding performance, if you ask me, because he was like I like to call it, truth seeker. He was as unbiased as he was able to be, considering the time period. You know,
Yes.
he was the only character that treated Samuel's character like a human being.
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, he he was on the bounty when they first met Sam. He had and
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
You know,
Some people ain't
he let them know then that don't call them niggas. You know, it's not. It's not. They're offended by that word.
But not only his treatment of Samuel, but I enjoyed his character as well because he was as much of a straight shooter as he could be, you know, regardless of race, because he was a bounty hunter, and he was only concerned with getting the job done the best way he could, but without interfering with other people if possible. You know,
a great movie. Another Quentin Tarantino movie. You know what I mean?
Now
that hit the spot.
Now,
you know?
Did he have to drop the M-bomb 365 times? Now I'm bullshitting with the number, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
Very lot.
Yeah, it was a period piece. You know what I mean? It's one of them pieces. It's one of the movies where you couldn't use any other word to describe. You know what I mean? To describe the era. You know what I mean? That's what they was calling. That's what they was calling brothers back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blatantly to their face. Because they knew that was the only word that hurts.
Yeah.
You can call me blackie all you want, come from a white guy. You know what I mean? Darky, monkey, that shit don't sting like a fucking nigga coming out their mouth.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
When
right.
that word comes out their mouth at me, that shit burns like acid in my eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, and I never felt no real 1960s prejudice. And it burns me.
Right.
To be called a nigga,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, by a white guy.
True that.
You know what I mean? I only know what I've read in some light shit, you know what I mean, that I experienced you know what I mean, in this world. You know what I mean, throughout my lifetime.
So the question is, do you think Sam
I caught my fair share in the side.
do you think Sam is Oscar worthy in this performance? Hatefully.
You have
We
to.
have to
I think he should
compare
be
it
at least
to-
considered. We don't know what's coming in
That's what I was going to
2016.
say. We have to compare it to the other
Now that
films
we
in
do
the
a show,
category.
I'm gonna get back more into watching these movies because I want to give the right point of view on these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, because the only time I watched the Oscars was 2014.
Right.
I seen the Django movie. It was nominated for the Oscars.
Right.
That's the first and the last time I watched the Oscars, only because the two stars of the movie, which were Jamie Foxx and Kerry Washington,
Right.
in my opinion, deserved the Oscar because they are the stars. But
You watched it because it was a good movie,
and it was a great
but
movie.
those roles is exceptional.
It was great.
They played great parts.
They played heroes.
They
played,
didn't get nominated,
yeah.
but the whole other cast did.
The whole everybody
Everybody else-
supporting cast,
Got a nomination except for the two leads.
best director, best movie of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and it was hard for them. It was hard. They still had to
Right.
sit there. They smiled and continue to clap.
Right.
But I know it was very hard.
Did they even get nominated? Because being nominated, just being nominated,
They didn't
you know
get
what I mean?
nominated.
It's huge.
It's huge sometimes, you know what I mean? That
Because
opens,
they'll say it when they have trailers. They'll Academy Award nominee.
right,
James Franco.
right.
Yeah.
It's a bonus to win it.
But do you hear that for Jamie Foxx name?
Huh?
You don't hear that on Jamie Foxx name, man.
Oh man,
It's
Jamie,
been
yeah,
a while
all the
since I
time.
seen him
Yeah,
in a trailer for something.
When they don't.
When they put that up because
Oh,
he did
Jamie's one-
exceptional in Ray.
Jamie's a crossover, so we can't say.
Yeah.
We be using a poor example. Say Jamie
I
and
think
Denzel right now. That'd be a poor example to say they
Yeah.
don't use that moniker on them.
But Jamie
You know
didn't
what I
get an
mean?
Oscar for that.
I think in my estimation, concerning Will, just to round it out, concerning Will and Concussion, or not his role per se, but the movie per se, I just don't see it as an Oscar film a film that's worthy of an Academy Award nomination because of the content of the film.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? CTE is traumatic. It is. But you're talking about expecting people to want to enjoy this 40 years from now, or it's still to hold the same weight, and it doesn't when the NFL had their own scandal regarding that and the payouts. And it's just, my brother, you're a great actor and you will bounce back, but there's not the time for that fight. But
Man, he could have got blackballed by the high powers too. You know.
Oh man, you can't jackball Will Smith and
You know
shit.
what I'm saying?
Will Smith
But
bring Will Smith bring
he bring money, but
he bring people to
the
the box
high-
office.
the
you
high-
know?
don't put asses
the
in the
higher
seat.
powers like the NFL,
Yeah.
they talk to the higher powers like the people who vote for the Oscars.
Yeah.
They don't talk to Will Smith, who was
Nah.
the person who works for.
No,
them.
this just wasn't good. Oscar, this just wasn't Oscar work for
It
Will.
was.
You know what I mean?
It was.
The movie was very sensationalized. You know what I mean? And they didn't express that in the movie. You know what I mean? The CTE is created during the 60s and 70s and the early 80s of NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it was no holds barred. You know what I mean? Nowadays, if I hit you in the head, you going out for a
It's
game.
over with.
If we bump heads, you going out for a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you get up and stagger 2 steps to the right, you got a full
Go talk to the
concussion
doctors.
protocol going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
they don't explain that part of the game now. You know what I mean? And they don't explain that the CTE was, you know what I'm saying, a study that took 20 years in the making. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
The NFL had denied it. You know,
Yeah.
they play their part in it. You know what I mean? It's just not a good storyline to the movie.
Not for an Oscar. I mean, it's not a classic to me.
Right.
But shout out to Tyler Perry for employing people, finding new talent all the time, making Atlanta a new Hollywood, a new mecca for a lot of entertainers,
Right.
Black Hollywood. And y'all watch out for the Oscars. If you want to do that, you know, it'll be on ABC. Chris Rock is hosting, so you get your good laugh.
Yeah.
Myself, personally, I don't really care for award shows, period. To me, it's just a waste of time. You get a good performance every now and then, but I check them out on YouTube.
If you'd called me when I was 12, I'd been
Right.
I'd been all into all these award shows, but they come and they go, and I don't even know they came.
Moving on, my man Black Youngster.
Black Youngster.
He said y'all were lying, said he was lying, said
Yeah.
he ain't have no account.
Hey, Playboy had that money, man.
So Wells Fargo basically come out and said that he never had an account with them, which is crazy because I don't know how he would have walked out the bank with $100 grand or whatever he say he had
Right.
with the police on it after they just slammed him.
Right.
Yeah, but so basically, you know, it was he went up there to basically pull some money from the account, and it was another person that was trying to forge a $24,000 check, and when he walked outside, the police mistaken him for the guy who tried to forge a $24,000 check, and they hemmed him up instead of the person that actually did it, who they still haven't caught to this day, but shouts out to Black Youngster. I'm doing this because basically he was on the news saying, you know, he caressing his money like it's a cat. Like, you know, he got 1.5 in the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
they want to know, what does a person look like that withdraws $100,000? Obviously, you don't look like Black Youngster. You know what I mean? Because they called the police for somebody on a $24,000 check, but the police stopped the guy who withdrew $100,000. They didn't call him there for a $100,000 withdrawal.
He say 200.
Yeah, a $200,000 withdrawal. You know what I mean? They called him for a $24,000 check. Now the guy that put the check out got off scot-free just because a rapper happens to be going to pick up more money than they think he should have. You know?
In Atlanta now. In Atlanta, by the way.
In Atlanta. Where there's a lot of rich young rappers that we don't know about.
Young rich nigga.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of young rich niggas that's rich around this motherfucker that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
But
And what was Wells Fargo's stake in the claim to deny that he had a bank account?
I don't understand that at all. That's the part I'm trying to.
my opinion, because, you know, anything over 10,000, that's when the feds automatically supposed to get involved.
But they
'Cause
didn't.
You can't pull 10 out.
They didn't call the feds. They called the police for a guy for a $24,000 check.
Right.
Exactly. So they basically was sneakily, he's probably been pulling out large amounts of money. And that's kind of illegal.
Yeah.
So to cut all ties, they're going to cut ties with him. You understand? It's like anything over 10,000, feds need to get involved so they can ask you what you're doing with this money.
Wells Fargo
So
got
if
some
you're
explaining to do.
illegally still, if you're illegally still letting this man pull out $200,000 because y'all want his money,
Right.
and y'all want his business, then y'all are at fault. So let's cut ties with him now before any illegal action starts to take place.
Oh,
That-
paper trail's there.
That might be the
Understand?
that might be the case, but he on his Instagram he posted a letter from Wells Fargo that proved he did indeed have an account, but that they were closing it. His name is Sammy M. Benson, and it has all this information on here, and it says, "We're writing to let you know that we have begun the process of closing your account because of a business decision to end your deposit account relationship with Wells Fargo." So basically in the letter they saying they closing his account, and he posted on the Instagram under the picture damn, this shit crazy. At Wells Fargo shut down my account because of a business decision. Guess they right. I ain't got an account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, so I mean, they tried to shame the man. You know what I mean?
Basically.
They get some fraudulent shit going on with him.
Yeah.
Now the homeboy is who he say he is. He's an up and coming rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
1.3.
He say he got 1.3.
In the
You know what I mean? He ain't got to prove that.
Right.
He ain't got to prove that. He had $100,000 in his hand. You know what I mean? And you guys called for a $24,000 check. And then Wells Fargo to deny the man his claim to fame. Gonna say, oh, he didn't have an account here.
Did the police take the money?
He said they took $100,000.
He said they took $100,000.
Exactly.
They called the police station. You know what I'm saying? From the reports I read, everyone called the police station. Police said they ain't take nothing.
Yeah, because they paying for their kids' college fund behind that money. That's their money.
Yeah, but if it's young black, them kids going back home. If that's young black money, they get his money.
Black youngster.
Black youngster.
So from that, I'm glad he was able. He kind of went viral from that, and blew up. His
off.
name is everywhere now,
Took off.
and I'm glad he parlayed that into something positive. So now he was in Michigan. When he had a truckload of water that he was delivering to the residents.
Right.
And that's dope, you know what I'm saying? At least you take your power, your privilege, and your position, and you put it towards something positive, and you help the people. That's alliteration at work. Power, privilege, position. A little nerds.
Drop that knowledge.
Hey, yeah, look
Shout
him
out
up,
knowledge.
just Google him. He'll have pictures posted of him in front of stacks of water behind a big ass U-Haul.
You talking
Yeah.
about
Water going to the
Black
hood.
black youngster?
Yeah, Flint, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shouts out
So-
to him.
Yeah. He's
Cause the
up.
Flint controversy is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
He was
man.
one of the first young rappers. There's a lot of rappers that have more money than him.
Yeah.
That hasn't done anything yet, and he used.
Oh man,
a lot of his
help
voice to go
help
the
is
right
help is
path.
on the way. We just seen pictures of black youngsters, but there's other guys up there. There's a lot of help being sent up that way.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know
Shouts
what I
out
mean?
to Big Sean, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But it's a lot that's not helping also. So that's what I'm saying. His check is a lot smaller than a lot of other people's checks.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the LeBron conversation, though. We don't really know who's donating behind the scenes.
Right,
We don't.
right. We know, and there's more pictures of other guys that donated. You know what I mean? But we want to get into that story, yo. Bro, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go knee deep, yo.
well, in the Flint water situation, basically, the residents of Flint, Michigan were consuming water with heavy lead poisoning in it. What happened was they were getting their water from the city of Detroit, but then the government officials somewhere decided to switch it back to the highly polluted Flint River. And that's where they decided to get the water from the residents of Flint, Michigan. And it proved to be, dangerous and deadly.
Right.
And even though they switched the water source back to the Detroit water source in October of last year, some of the residents have been drinking that poison water for 19 years.
19 months.
19 months. 19 months, I'm sorry. 19 months.
Now, the city of Flint got water problems. They need a new water reservation filtration center.
Yep.
They decide that they're gonna switch the water supply from the Lake Huron to the Flint River Lake. You know what I'm saying? To the Flint River,
Yeah.
a highly polluted river, been polluted for decades now. They decide they're gonna use that river without even cleaning it.
They didn't add the additives
They didn't add
necessary.
the proper additives
The pipe's already
to
bad.
clean it, to allow the water to get through there.
Definitely.
You know,
It's not new. Been new.
it's not even new from day one. You know, now you got people been drinking this water for 19 months before they even recognize the problem.
People hair falling out.
Yeah.
People, children losing IQ. You
Right.
know, they
people wonder why their kids struggling in school, and it's the water they're drinking. You know, getting lesions on the skin. It's the water they're bathing in. You know, so
Yeah.
it's a big problem. 60% of the population is black, but it's affecting the whole city.
yeah.
The water didn't discriminate when it went through the pipes.
No, it didn't.
You know,
No,
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of people, even like the filmmaker who made Bowling for Columbine, Michael Moore, is calling it a racial thing. And you got, right now at this point, facts are steadily coming out, so we
Right.
can't say anything for certain. But there's a lot of speculation as to what's going on, and you got some people saying that it's a racial element, and then you have some people who are saying that it's multinational corporations who do things like say that certain water additives or processes need to be done before the water is drinkable or can be drinkable. And since the local government may not be able to fulfill that need, they might not be able to pay for the necessary upgrades, then you have corporations who will volunteer or say that they'll take over. And in the meanwhile, when they do this, if they try to transition this back to the government who couldn't pay for it to begin with, then they often end up able to privatize the water systems and buy it from the state
It's
who
all
can't
about,
afford it
It's
anyway.
all about money, the bottom line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They trying to do something for cheaper to make more profit. You know what I mean?
And they didn't care about the people's
Right.
lives in the
When really
meanwhile.
it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And you have collateral damage on the way to
Right.
profit.
And the collateral damage is the poor people of Michigan.
Yep.
You know? Well, a lot of these northern cities are going through this. You know what I mean? The cities are 150 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the infrastructure is very weak. Michigan has one of those infrastructures that need to be rebuilt. You know what I mean? But they
Yeah.
don't have the tax base to rebuild the infrastructure.
Yeah, none of them.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
'cause
So
they don't-
stuff like this happens when towns go bankrupt.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The state doesn't help these people.
They at the mercy
Right.
of the highest bidder.
Right. They at the mercy of the highest bidder trying to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
And then people come in on the cheap and then don't do it right. And then when you don't do it right, you got whole cities getting poisoned
Yeah.
when you don't do things right.
You got a
You know
whole
what I mean?
generation of young
Right.
people that's gonna be severely hurt by
So
that.
now they
suffer
have
for years.
now they in a state of emergency and they have to get money from the federal government, you know, and then this all leads from one thing to another, you know. Now you have to bring in a better healthcare system into that neighborhood,
Definitely.
which
Yeah.
they're not gonna get. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
They're gonna need extra funding for the schools because these kids' IQ is dropping. They're not gonna get. You know.
Yeah.
So all this stuff leads to bigger problems that $140 a day could have saved.
Yeah.
Now when and when the government knew this,
They've known
They
for
know.
quite some time.
Right.
At
Wow.
least a year, because stories have come out on this as far back as July.
when did
July-
they not know?
July of 2015.
When did they not know the adjective wasn't in? The day he didn't know the adjective, that should have been the day we
Yeah.
brought that joker to court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
He's
People-
still not in court. He should have been in
Right
court now.
And now it's too late to even throw the adjective in there
Yeah.
because the pipes are so rotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot stop it now.
They done switched back to the Detroit water
Right.
system, but
But it's gonna take a long time to. But the pipes
Yeah,
are
oh,
old.
you
from-
saying
from-
it's
from-
still
from-
going
Yeah,
through
yeah,
the
it's
pipe.
still
Right,
going
right,
the
same
pipes
pipe.
are already
From-
stripped
from-
of
yeah.
the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The line has been
Yeah.
exposed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Has to from
The lead. The lead has been exposed. I'm just keep saying lime. They get Lyme disease.
Can you boil the water? We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is worth looking into.
Now you have to replace the pipes. You have to replace the pipes.
yeah. I mean,
You know, that's so they that's why they ask for federal government help.
So what do you do as a resident of Flint and you only making $15,000 a year?
Yeah, you moving, you gonna get $10,000 back in
You
taxes
know,
anyway.
it's-
If you make 14,000, you get 10,000
I mean,
back in
think
No,
about
taxes.
it, though.
it says CDC lead tips. Boiling water will not reduce the amount of lead in your water.
Dad, you got to be able to filter that out. You got to be able to put that through a
So
Brita.
you're done. So basically, you have a newfound genocide that's going on in Flint right now because this is gonna lead to other effects.
Genocide. Genocide is you killing one people.
Nah,
they killing
well,
everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
like,
mean? It's not a genocide
It's,
yet.
Oh,
it's,
no,
it's,
a
it's
genocide-
classism in that
It's
sense.
classism.
A classism
Because they only doing
in
it to the
that
poor.
sense.
of the
Yeah.
whole
Right.
city,
Right.
of the whole city, because now you have mental health people that's gonna grow up mentally challenged, and then they're gonna reproduce and have more mentally challenged kids, which is gonna continue on and continue on for years to come. It's gonna hurt that city for years to come, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's old cities, old pipes. Maybe they need to move out the city. Maybe it's time for more up and coming cities to grow.
It's not that. It's not that. It's
Right.
not.
You
Like-
can't. The
It's not that
citizens,
easy for the poor to move.
Yeah, I already
That's
say the
what I'm saying.
citizens
It's
can't. They
hard.
can't
Right.
uproot and move
Right.
like
Because the
that.
citizens, some of the citizens already knew last year, in 2015,
Right.
that the water was bad, and had no choice but continue to
They
drink
knew
it
something.
anyway.
They knew something was up. They was bringing it to the county. You know what I mean? The county was denying it, denying that there was something wrong with the water. You know what I mean? They had problems. There was people with skin lesions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people getting
Hair
sick.
falling
You know what
out.
I mean? But they didn't think it was the water. You know what I mean? They didn't tell the residents that they switched the water.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's against the law in itself, right?
Right. You know, but no, they put out a little program like, oh, we having a city council meeting on the 3rd. People in the hood don't go to city council
Nah,
meetings.
we don't.
You know what I mean?
Just think about this. It's a hell of a thing to be able to go out and provide enough water to drink.
right.
You know, enough people can get that. But when you're talking about I can't even bathe in this water,
Right. The water corrodes my skin.
how much money does it cost to bathe yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
How much money does it cost to go buy enough gallons of water or cases of water to fill up a tub and empty it and be able to do this for you and your family?
If all the rappers in the world contributed, it wouldn't be enough.
They going back to the wash tub,
You know
man,
what I
taking
mean?
bird bath.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
and
you
sharing
get
the water, the same water.
Hey, you affecting business. What about business guys that running the damn pizza place down in the corner?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even
You
looking
know
at
what
the
I mean?
commercial
Right.
aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
killing
know?
the economy.
Right,
It's
you
crippling the economy.
Crippling the economy. No one wants to come and stay in Flint when they know that water's gonna kill. It's killing people.
Everything
Yeah.
you
You know what I mean?
everything
Right.
is
This
behind
thing
water.
leads. It's a domino effect, man.
It is.
It's a domino effect.
That's gonna hurt
Yeah.
us for years to come, decades to come.
Hopefully, it's, they come to a great resolution for them people. Don't nobody deserve that.
Right.
Nobody's deserved to be a science experiment. Black, white, fat, tall, short, skinny. People. Humans
Trying
don't
to-
deserve that.
Right. Trying to save a couple dollars should get this man some years in jail. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, at least if you want to go to Flint, though, if you got some people up there, you want to be a part of the movement, gas is cheap. You can make you a trip.
I heard they selling houses for $800.
Oh, yeah, up there in
$800
Detroit.
a house.
In
You know what I'm saying?
Detroit.
You can go up there and be a mogul. You know what I mean? You can go up there and be a
But
mogul.
that's what I'm saying. The question is it a bigger aspect behind this whole situation?
Not with those
Sometimes it's a bigger aspect, but we never know.
Right.
Just like it was a bigger aspect in New Orleans. The levees broke. Some people say they broke they blew up the levees on purpose.
Right.
So they can clear it out and make it a bigger tourist attraction. You understand? So
It may be a gentrification aspect, but
you never know.
we can't call it.
We'll see in years to come.
But right now, in Atlanta and the outlying suburbs, gas is at about $1.74.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the average, like
Right.
$1.74.
Right.
That's
Back in
joyride
2004
price.
days.
Oh man, we back. We back smoking and riding again. We back like high school and shit. Like, yo, you smoke and ride. You just go to check your homie in the next state. Like,
You
yo,
know,
for no reason.
A joker can give you $5 on the trip now and
right.
then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$5 gas is back.
There was nothing to put $10 in your car
Oh,
back in the day
man.
and bend some corners. Ride out. Just ride out. Man.
Homie threw you a 20, he just gave you a half a tank.
Oh man, they give you a whole 20. You be like, whoa, you in a ride all week.
Yeah.
man.
You ride it all week.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the Arabs ain't happy about it, man.
That's what I would get ready to say. I heard on some news outlet, they were saying that America is selling gas cheap now to destabilize other economies.
You should have known, man. We were stockpiling when gas went to $4 a gallon.
Yep.
You know what I mean? America always takes 2 steps ahead.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
America went and built all these reserves like, yo, we gonna stockpile the gas.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know, and now when you stockpile the gas, it messes with the price of the gasoline.
But for years they was telling us that we were running out of fossil fuel. I don't know if y'all remember that.
And then in the last 5 years, we've been drilling in every plot of land that we can find. We drilling.
Hey, between that and when gas went up to $3 a gallon, people wasn't riding like they used to.
Yeah.
It slowed down. It was either riding to the grocery store to get some food,
Oh, yeah.
or riding to work.
Yeah.
That was it. It was no more job riding.
Oh,
No.
It was no more.
It cut out vacations.
Yeah, it cut out a
Oh yeah,
lot of
it cut,
things.
yeah, it cut a lot of family vacations out. A lot of people driving to
That's
go
all.
visit relatives and holidays.
Yeah.
All that was cut down.
Because when
definitely.
fuel prices are high, we look at it at gasoline because we driving everywhere. But when fuel prices are high, period, it affects every industry. It affects transportation,
Right.
leisure, vacation. The plane tickets go up, believe it or not.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Fuel is fuel. So now that it's cheap, you know, you can go out and do you a little more, and it's gonna help the economy, start all these other businesses, the tourist attractions get a little money.
Right.
People gonna start coming, but
It's low at the wrong time. So I need low gas prices in the summertime
That'll
when I'm
never
actually
happen.
out on the road.
That'll never happen.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
OPEC know
when
that's
I'm
time.
out on the road with the
That's
family,
peak season right
you know what I mean? That's when I want gas $1.70. You know, and I'm driving to New York right now in the wintertime. Ain't much driving. I'm doing that.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
They and still they blanket it with
Oh
snow.
yeah.
They blanket.
I'm not going nowhere near the north right now. Nowhere near.
Hey, it's funny because you go to the gas station now, you spend a little bit more time at the gas station.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
It take a little bit more time for the gas to come out.
Yeah, like
Compared to back in the, you know, when gas was $3 a gallon, you put $10 in there, as soon as you hit squeeze, it's clicking.
Why you going there
know
with
what I'm
confidence? Give me 12 on 8. Put 12 on 8.
Take a little while now to get
Hey.
some gas.
I been one time I paid $40 on my when it was $4 a gallon. I paid $40 on my tank, and it went by so fast. Like it hit 40 like a matter of a second. I was like, yo, did I get it? No, did I get it? I was like,
It
yo.
cheated me.
Yeah, like, I only got like 5 gallons, yo.
Yeah, man.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
That shit was
Horrible,
crazy, man.
But
That shit was crazy.
He's happy to spend time at the gas station again, man.
El Chapo
El
had
Chapo was
a
back.
historic interview in between him being on the run. He done had a historic interview with Sean Penn, and Sean Penn says that the interview was supposed to focus on the over pursuing of the war on drugs
Right.
and drug culture at large, just so the world can see how it's negative and it's over pursuing.
Right.
And instead, the Rolling Stone made it about, of course, a drug kingpin.
Right.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, right.
Which one is the bigger story?
The editors of Rolling Stone had nowhere else to go after the El Chapo got knocked.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they trying to blame Sean Penn for you know what I mean?
For snitching
For
on
snitching.
him. Like that, like he flipped El Chapo.
Right. It was a no-brainer
Come on, man.
that Sean Penn is gonna get tailed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You going to
Sean
Mexico.
Penn, Sean Penn is an activist.
Yeah.
This is what he
He
do.
already on the
Right,
radar.
already on the radar.
You
Right.
anti-establishment.
What are you coming to Mexico for? You coming to start trouble with the poor people?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You coming to start trouble somewhere.
Yeah.
Just so happens El Chapo got the big break. Sean Penn got the big break on El Chapo.
Yep.
He's going to see El Chapo.
How?
You know what I mean?
How was he the one to get the interview though?
Hey, because people still fall in love. Love caught Chapo off guard.
Yeah.
He was
You
in
know
love
what I
with
mean?
Sean Penn.
God damn, he love with the cocoa.
For real, for real.
Right, Chapo, Chapo was infatuated with a Spanish actress. And
Okay,
shit.
so
You know what I mean?
that actress thing
Yeah,
was
so-
the doorway into the interview.
Right, so she was, she wasn't bothered by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she was like, hey, we should do a documentary on you. Let's call Sean Penn the
Right.
activist. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But they called him
He
wrong
take
guy.
his journalism serious
Oh, yeah.
though. He
Very
said
serious.
somebody questioned it and about it being a legitimate interview, and he said to everybody that does, I want to know where's their license that says that they're a journalist.
Right.
And he shut a lot of people up with that, or at least in my opinion,
Right.
because there's no journalist
License.
license.
There's no journalist license. You just go to school,
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it teach you how to write.
Right.
That's what journalism does.
I
It teach
don't
you
know
how to
when
write.
go to school, man.
Correct journalism.
Just got that plug.
Right.
Right place, right time.
Oh yeah, most of them born
Right
into-
story.
But
yeah,
I-
most of them born into
Anybody will buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you got the right story, somebody willing to buy it,
Right.
you label a journalist, no problem. But I mean, I feel sorry. I hope El Chapo don't think that Sean Penn really did have anything to do
No,
with it. Right?
a Chapo
'Cause
know.
if so, he need to watch his family.
No, a Chapo know that he was being tailed. The Mexican government was about to come in anyway, but they just knew they couldn't do it while the American was there. Definitely while American actor was there.
Yeah,
you
no
know.
problem.
He was being tailed. They had already broke the code between him and the Spanish actress. You know,
Yeah, he was talking to us.
right.
Yeah.
From the accounts that I read, that they was already on the way before Sean even got there. You know.
At least they didn't do him like Pablo, man.
That shit
said
was
arrest
man,
him.
that
They
shit was
said
looking-
just- they
that
just
shit was looking
arrested him,
suspect as
man.
hell. They showed that video. They got people going and shooting at El Chapo, but I don't hear return fire. Oh, I hear them firing, but I don't hear them getting returned.
Think about it. They sent the black squad, the top naval SEALs to just go down there and pop up Pablo Escobar back in the day.
Oh no, Pablo was shooting back. Pablo had an arsenal going back. Pablo was on that roof getting back.
Man, they caught Pablo on the roof, standing on top of him, taking pictures of him like he was a deer.
Yeah.
With a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
That's how they did Pablo.
So
I mean, I hope. I mean, do y'all think he's gonna get extradited to the U.S.?
Oh yeah, he'll be here soon.
Think so?
He'll be here soon. It's out there, you know.
Oh, no, that's money though.
America ain't
Mexico
gonna
need that money, man.
America ain't gonna take no chances on him escaping again. Not like that. Like that's gonna stop meth from coming to America. But
I'm saying, what do we have to do with that?
it pleases our senators and our congressmen that they, you know what I'm saying, that they got a trophy. He's just a trophy.
they need a good boogeyman.
Yeah, they need a good boogeyman. So when they go to they stomping grounds in their small towns,
We
like,
call
hey,
him.
We call him. I'm on the DE, on the federal DEA committee that catches drug dealers, and we got El Chapo. You know what I mean? They gonna go back and say, oh well, we gave them the information to tell them where El Chapo was. You know, that's how they do. You know, that's for grandstanding.
we
Bringing
got-
those trophies in.
that.
You know what I mean? Going after Osama bin Laden. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop terrorism, but he's a trophy. You know what I mean? Obama can always say he got that guy. You know what I mean? He always got that on his resume that he caught the most wanted man in the world.
Sean Penn spoke on people that suggested that he turned El Chapo in or whatnot, but he was like, the Mexican government is just upset that I was able to establish contact with him.
Right.
And it made them look foolish.
Right.
That was a direct quote
Right.
from him. But
Yeah.
y'all Google this. You can look at the Rolling Stone article, the interview, all that. But, you know, it's just stuff that's happening in the world.
Right.
You know?
So, yeah, the editors, they had nowhere else to go with the story, so they made it seem like, you know, it was the Kingpin story. But that's not where Sean Penn wanted to go.
Yeah,
Sean
that
Penn
wasn't
wanted to
it.
go a little more deeper into...
His activist line.
Yeah, right.
He wanted to stay in the
Like,
path that he's
yo,
in.
how do you feel about destroying people? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's the route that Sean Penn wanted to take with those guys. You know, but I would love to see the interview. I didn't read it all in Rolling Stone. I just read a few snippets. You know,
Yeah.
but I want to see the whole documentary. I want to see the whole documentary when Sean Penn finally releases the video.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some controversy behind that. I think. I don't think they're gonna let him.
No, he got that. He earned that story fair and square. That's just
But
like if
do you
Tom
think-
Brokaw go down there.
You think they're gonna let him release? Is it gonna be a movie behind El Chapo? You think a documentary?
Oh,
That's what
eventually,
Sean
yo,
Penn trying to do?
listen, we had guys going to speak to Osama bin Laden, and CIA couldn't find him, supposedly.
Right.
You know what I
This
mean?
man had dialysis. They could have found him.
Yeah, but I mean, just saying, like, yo, we want, whenever we need an interview, we can go find a damn reporter can find somebody.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I mean? The
That's true.
reporters, the investigative reporters are nice. You know what I mean? Them guys know they know how to get to the bottom of things.
Go look at the movie Argo.
You know?
In the sports side of the game,
There we go.
Golden State put that thump on Cleveland so bad that they had to fire a motherfucker.
Yeah, they need more.
Somebody got to go behind this one.
Yeah, you got to go. This ain't what they was expecting, man. This ain't what they was
I don't
expecting.
think they
They
gave
can
Black
play.
a fair share.
Oh,
Man.
That's what I was going to ask, is it right?
No,
I don't think they
he
gave
don't.
him fair shake, man.
He don't deserve it, but hey, Black, he got to show some motivation. He could motivate the guys. The guy he lost the locker room. You know what I mean?
When he came in the room to talk to the GM, GM was like, "Bruh." You got to go. But it was unfair.
I mean, the question we need to ask is the person we need to ask is LeBron. That's the person that
LeBron said they did ask me. He had the press conference this morning.
Of course, they
LeBron
asked.
said they didn't call me.
Okay.
He said they told me, love it or hate it, the decision is made that they was getting rid of Black at that time.
Hey, but I was also watching Sports Center, and they were showing all the different aspects of LeBron on the sideline complaining,
Yeah.
and he's not complaining to Black. He's complaining to Tyronn Lue.
Yeah. And Tyronn Lue was saying, yo,
And, and who knows? The question, Tyronn, he could be complaining about Black
No.
to Lue.
Right.
You never know.
They asked Lue that same question. Tyronn Lue was like, hey, I'm the defensive coordinator. He was asking me about the defensive breakdowns most of the time. He was like, yo, I play the bad guy. He's like, whenever I'm the assistant coach, I'm the bad guy. He was like, I was the one fighting when he was in Boston. He's like, I'm the one that fights KG and Rondo. He's like, Doc Rivers never did that. He's like, that's my role on the team, for you to argue with me, not to argue with the head coach.
Okay.
He's like, yo, when he was in LA, he was the one fighting with DeAndre and Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Tyronn Lue said, hey, he wouldn't. He said, that's not he. This is his quote. He said he didn't.
Right.
He wouldn't do nothing malicious behind the coach. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He said he was doing his job, and that's why they brought him over there to get in guys' face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wouldn't do nothing to step on Black's toes.
With that being said, he has been promoted to the interim head coach.
Right.
Do you believe that
Signed a
he's
3-year
gonna?
contract.
No.
actually.
What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What
He's
the,
the man.
what the GM
I'm the
seen?
man. I'm the man.
What the GM seen? You know what I mean? Was leadership by the young man.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay.
how he got the job. You know what I mean? He's seen leadership like he's getting in these guys' face. He's challenging them without stepping on the head coach's toes. You know what I mean? He's going in there. There's only so much an assistant can do.
Right.
He can go in there and challenge these guys all he wants, but an assistant doesn't control your playing time.
That's
Right.
true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So
Do you think that it's gonna be a better style of coaching as opposed to that European
European.
offense that Black was running?
hey, Tyrone Lue said it's gonna be the same thing. He's just gonna ask for more out of the guys. He's gonna build the rotation up. They was down to like a 7-man rotation.
He asked for more out of LeBron.
No,
or
he's
asked
asking
for
more out of the bench.
Tristan Thompson.
He's asking for more out
okay.
of the bench. He wants Mo Williams and the Russian to come off the bench
That's right.
and play better minutes.
And
you know what I mean?
What's my man? The shoot your lights out.
James Jones,
came from New York.
Kevin Shumpert, or
Shepard and
J.R.
Josh
Smith.
Smith. Oh, you
And
can't,
Smith.
what more can you ask those guys is bowling? They're the best team in the East. This guy lost his job for being in the first place. Who does that? Only in America can you lose your job for being in the first place.
Hey,
You know what I mean? You lose one game, they say you lost your confidence. How do you lose your confidence
That
in one
ass
game?
whooping was like 3-1 though.
But-
They came into
Come on,
Cleveland.
man.
and
You just won 7 in a row. You lose one game and you lose your job.
They
First
dropped
year,
trial on
took
them
to the
boys.
final. First year.
But these the same.
First year.
These the same. It was a statement game. Actually, the second statement game because they played Christmas weekend.
Right.
You see,
Correct.
like,
Correct.
look,
But they still-
it
the
was
gun
a
wasn't-
display of dominance.
Listen,
Every time they play, it's a display of dominance. But this one was just like, when we see y'all this year, if we see y'all, you know what time it is.
David Black led them guys to the final
Final.
NBA Finals hurt.
First
Missing 2 All-Stars.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
He
I
led them to the
understand.
finals. You know what I mean?
He didn't get a
The
fast
guy
start.
needed another year or two to really get this thing right. At least let him run through the year with Kyrie again.
He got Lovie Smith, man.
You know what I mean?
He got love.
He got Lovey.
He got
Nah,
Lovie
they
Smith,
experimenting.
man.
You know what I mean? They went with the X's and O's guy. You know what I mean? Offensive guy, but he wasn't the right guy for the team. You know what I mean? They told him that when they hired him. Like, yo, David Black wasn't the guy for the team.
It's a lot of stories, and we'll never know the whole truth behind the truth.
Oh man,
Truth,
I mean
you know what
everything.
I'm
You know,
saying?
got 2 stories.
But when you look at body language, and I'm looking at LeBron just sitting there just ranting. Tyrone Lewis, he was saying nothing. He was just like shaking his head, listening like.
It's difficult
So
in the course
it
of the
looked like he was
game.
complaining a lot.
You can't go to the head coach and shoot that shit during the game,
He was
man.
complaining, man,
Right.
a lot.
But you got to be able to spit your voice. You got to be able to voice your opinion to get it heard. Like LeBron shoot to that Tyrone Lue. Now
Who
this
he
week
complaining
he's
about,
not.
though?
This week he's complaining about the defensive breakdowns. You know what I mean? He wasn't complaining
People
about
not
that.
doing their job.
You know,
being
he's
on
not
their
sitting there
man,
shitting
doing
on
their
Black.
assignment.
That's not what you
Okay,
do. That's not professional.
But if they're not doing their assignments,
Whose
then-
job is it to make them?
exactly,
Right. That's why you talk to your assistant coach like, yo,
exactly.
I'm telling you, coach, so you can tell the head coach.
He don't even run back.
But
Right,
the
he
head-
just tried.
but
He
the
don't
head
even get
coach-
back.
and so that's why Black got
Yeah.
fired because he didn't do. He told Lou.
Yeah.
Lou told the head coach,
And maybe
the
he-
head coach didn't make them do
I
it.
think-
Maybe that's what the owner. Maybe that's what the owner thought.
See.
Then
I think personally, in my opinion, we can't put the onus on LeBron if he
No.
came out and said I was not involved in the decision.
Yeah,
now
true.
we know just like politics and entertainment, sports, they gonna lie a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
But I think LeBron has been a man of integrity to the point where we can't
Yeah.
question this now.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Not gonna
understand what I
question.
mean?
Not
It
gonna
was
question.
we have to believe that it was strictly an upper management decision.
It's right. It's right to question them. To think like, yo, how you gonna get rid of somebody and not even ask the star what do you think about?
Oh
it?
yeah, it's right
You know
to
what I
question
mean?
that aspect,
Right.
but when he said publicly,
Like,
I wasn't involved.
Right. You gotta take the man. You
right.
gotta be a man of his word. You gotta take a man of his
I
word.
mean, we know, this is LeBron. He's the face of the Cavs, so he's always
NBA right
so
now.
whatever happened to the Cavs, he's gonna be the first person everybody's gonna talk about. But at the same time,
Well,
we already
Steph.
know
Now I get it.
Yeah.
anything that happened with the Lakers in the last 15 years that Kobe was there, it went through Kobe.
Oh yeah.
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 Regardless, he can deny it. He can say it didn't have nothing to do with it.
There's a couple decisions that went through the Lakers that did that. He didn't want Mike Brown as a coach. You know what I mean?
He was
They
hurt.
hired Mike Brown as a coach.
He was hurt.
You know what I mean?
He
But
was
still,
the guy
they didn't want
from,
Mike
Atlanta at one point.
Cleveland.
Oh, right.
He's LeBron's original
I'm
coach.
talking about
But he was hurt then.
Huh?
Mike Wood.
But still, they hired the guy against Kobe's will.
Yeah,
You know what I
against his
mean?
best wishes.
They got him to a bad start.
Yeah.
They got rid of the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
called Kobe
You know
the
what I
whole
mean?
time.
Some,
I told you.
some
I
decisions,
told you.
yeah,
That's
some
what Kobe
decisions,
said.
they don't always add the superstar because they know they're hard decisions. And you don't pay these guys to think.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
pay
don't pay
him.
LeBron to think about your decision. He can offer his opinion. Sometimes his opinion is right. But you don't pay him to think all the time. Sometimes you got to make hard decisions when it affects your money.
That's
you're wrong.
Yeah. Now to speak to that,
True that.
you know what would also piggyback what you just said. We also have to keep in mind the fact that this is the same owner that was there when LeBron left.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, like he said, now you talking about my money,
Yeah.
and you already proven that to some extent you're fickle. So why would I expect you to make a decision
A hard
for this
decision
franchise,
yeah, a hard
a
decision
franchise
right.
decision? So I can
Yeah.
halfway believe that.
Yeah.
And he's not
I
getting
didn't
rid
think
of
that way.
the whole staff. He's giving LeBron his boy the job. He's giving LeBron's boy the job.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, yo, it wasn't a hard decision for the owner. Like, yo, I'm not gonna bring in another guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that would piss LeBron off.
Yeah.
If he fires Black and Tyronn Lue don't get the job.
Yeah.
That LeBron is fucking pissed then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That drives an all-star crazy. He's not coming back next year.
I hope Lou comes in and gain respect and actually do his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lou's a great
I don't
assistant,
think
man. Lou got to that job.
Yeah.
He know what he knows.
Let me
Yeah.
throw some salt in the game real quick. Think he's gonna be a better coach than my man out there in Golden State?
Kirk?
No.
Luke Walton?
Yeah.
They got a stacked team over there.
They all come from the
Oh, okay, so that ain't Luke.
Yeah.
That ain't Luke doing.
Hell no, that's Mark Jackson team.
Mark
Keep it
Jackson-
100. That's Mark Jackson
Yeah,
team.
Mark Jackson
Keep it
started
100.
He keep it 100.
that. Mark Jackson started that. He started that.
Fetty
Keep it
Wap
100. That's Mark
moment.
Jackson
We
team.
had a Fetty Wap moment.
That's what I'm saying. Mark Jackson got Lovie Smith too. Well, Lovie Smith got Mark Jackson.
Yeah. You lose a job when you have the best team
You
in,
know what I'm saying?
in the league.
You
That's
put a team together and you get fired.
welcome to America.
All right,
That's how it
so
goes.
they got my man Peyton going up against Brady, the most colossal or one of the most colossal matchups in recent NFL history.
Yeah.
What's the verdict?
I'm going with 21-17 Brady, and I don't do much. I don't go for much Boston sports.
I want Peyton to win just because this is last year, man. I just want him to go out on top. He's actually fighting for another ring because I know it's eating him up. He probably can't even, Peyton, you know, he's a perfectionist. So he probably can't even sleep at night that Eli got more rings.
I agree.
You know
Say
what I'm
you
saying?
come to Thanksgiving and he got on both of them.
He got both of them on. So, and Eli probably flexing on him like, yeah,
You know
what's
he
going
is.
on, bro? You know, so you never know. So, but I mean, Brady has got the best of him his whole career, and it's kind of messed up his legacy
Right.
in a sense. So, I hope we go out on top of the
I think Brady has had better teams, a better
better.
system,
Way
and a
better.
superior coach. If we, you know what I'm saying, right now.
Yeah, listen, Brady got the better skilled players. Gronk always seems to be open.
They
He
got
got
to
his main slot guy back, Edelman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Denver got a great defense. If they can keep the pressure on those guys, you know what I mean? I just think that the Patriots to make more plays tomorrow.
To me, it seemed like, and I'm not taking nothing away from his genius, but to me, it seemed like in high pressure moments, Peyton kind of stalled out a little bit. Like,
does.
do you remember
He
the
does.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The Super Bowl, the defense held his
Right.
last Super Bowl appearance,
Right.
but
It was
my man
embarrassing.
couldn't get in the end zone.
Yeah, couldn't find his own way.
That was
Now
embarrassing.
it's on you. You know what I'm saying?
It was embarrassing.
Couldn't get out of his way. You know
So
what I mean?
you know, I mean, I'm gonna go with the
But
Patriots.
Peyton's been like
Man.
that since he was at Tennessee. You know what I mean?
I'm biased.
Always lose the big one.
I'm
You know what I
biased.
mean?
I'm biased on the situation because I just don't like New England for some reason.
Oh, I don't like New England, but
I was
I
gonna say I'm not a
keep it real.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna keep it
So,
real. New England,
I'm
New England, you getting better coached out there, You know what I mean? If you had to pick the matchups, better coaching goes to New England.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Belichick, he's a great coach.
The better quarterback this year goes
Matt
to New England.
James.
The better receivers go to New England this year. I gotta give it. You know what I'm saying?
Better,
Now the defense.
Better cheating goes to New England.
I got you.
So,
I got you.
you know,
I got you.
Hey, it is what it is.
Boy, got walkie-talkies in their heads.
Yeah, we got. It is the game gonna be a good game tomorrow. But I the Patriots 21-17.
Who you got on the NFC side of the game?
I'm going with the Dabba. The Dabba-Doo. The Dabba-Doo crew.
Yeah, most definitely.
Cam and the Dabba-Doo. I'm sticking with
I
home.
like Carolina. Just hope they're a first half team. I hope they don't get ran down in the second half.
I don't really. I want Carolina to win, but I think that the Cardinals have a better offense.
They do.
Yeah.
You know, so
My gut telling me Arizona's gonna win this, but I want, you know what I'm saying, Cam to do it.
Fitz
You know
already
what I'm
got
saying?
one. Right?
Not for no.
no,
Fitz don't have one.
no, he ain't got no ring.
No, they went. They went.
Yeah, every
they
time
lost.
they don't win, it's over with.
That's
They
right.
went. They
They
but he
lost.
lost.
Still put that thump
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? I like to see Cam get there because he deserved it. He had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Possible
That's right.
MVP. If he ain't an MVP, he should be co-MVP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but Cam deserved it.
Cam getting it done without
Yeah.
some of his main receivers.
But
you know they
Carson
hurt,
Palmer,
so
he got a nice little crew over there.
he got something to prove too.
Yeah.
He been sitting down for a long time in Cincinnati, so
Yeah.
he hungry. He hungry for.
I already say I'm a fan of Cam.
Yeah,
Don't
fan.
get me wrong. And he
Definitely.
from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Big up to you. But the thing about it is I've been a fan of Carson Palmer.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm talking about back since 2K was on Dreamcast.
You a Dreamcast on us and shit? Dreamcast.
So-
You probably you and 100 other niggas that bought that.
that's
it. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I for sure I know that's gonna be a good game. I mean in terms of excitement, I think that's gonna be a more exciting game than the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
But either way, I think we got the best teams.
Yeah.
We down to literally the best
Yeah,
teams.
the
There's
final-
no flukes.
Right, the Final
Yeah.
Four is the best teams of the year.
Yeah.
true.
These have been the best teams all season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we know Carolina's a
Yeah.
first half team.
Right.
Cardinals are, from what I've seen, is our second half team.
Right.
So it's gonna be a great game, man. If you leave your seat, you might miss something. So
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
definitely,
Most definitely.
yeah.
We're gonna go ahead.
There you go.
We still talking about football right now, right?
Oh yeah, you can run with it.
Let's talk about Lynch then, please. Let's talk about Marshawn
Yeah,
Lynch, man.
beast mode.
He thinking about retiring at the age of 29, man. I
Hey.
don't agree. That's as a fan not agreeing. That's not as a,
Hey,
a
Mark.
person looking at a person trying to enjoy his money later on in life. But I just enjoy watching that man play.
You answered your own credits, buddy. The man want to enjoy his money, man. The man he had 3 contracts. The man, he done made about close to $100 million, probably about $80 million. He's a first round draft pick.
More than I got.
He got guaranteed money first coming out
29.
of college.
The last best running back to retire at 29 was
And-
Barry Sanders.
And
Yeah, that's what I was
And
saying.
you start getting hurt after 30. You start declining unless you some freak of nature like Adrian Peterson and shit. Everybody's not built like Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson said he got 80-year-old uncles that got 6 packs. So it's genetics. You know what I mean? It's genetics with that guy. Everybody else ain't built like that. Everybody else start falling apart at 30.
Yeah.
So Marshawn Lynch, like I said, Marshawn Lynch he had 3 contracts. Guaranteed contract, rookie year. Going to Buffalo, he caught another one. 30, 40 million. Then he left Buffalo, went to Seattle. He caught one a couple years ago for another 30, 40 million. You know what I mean?
Do y'all think
He's
that-
not hurting for money. He's got generational wealth right now.
And he got a ring.
And he still got his senses.
Could have had 2. So that brings me to the next question. Do y'all think he's salty about that last play of the Super Bowl last year?
I don't do that.
Even if he is,
He's
it's
not-
over with. You know, it's you
It's
know.
not, but he hasn't played
That's not
like he played last year.
man. He had injuries all this year.
He did. He
Injuries.
definitely did.
It's difficult to dictate what happens in the locker room in between the hash marks.
That's something we'll never
It's-
know.
Yeah, it's difficult to say why somebody is behaving a certain way, but
Right.
he is a Hall of Famer.
One thing I will
We
tell
know
you.
that.
One thing I will tell you. There's no such thing as half-ass in the NFL. You go half-ass, you get hurt.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You could not go out there and be like, hey, I ain't playing hard for these motherfuckers, and they gonna give you the ball 20 times a game. You will be hurt. You will be hurt. If you don't go out there and run the ball hard and be part of the game plan, you will be hurt.
So is that brings back to the question: is do you think that's why he got the injuries?
No one wants to get hurt, man. No one wants to be hurt. No one wants to be hurt, bro.
I didn't
You
ask
saying
that
that he
part.
was half-assing and this was the result?
Is that the question?
Yeah.
That's a question we'll never know.
Oh, we do.
But that's a question.
Then we doing a sci-fi show. Then.
That's a question, man.
You know what I mean? We
You know
gonna do
what I'm saying?
deep in that. Then we doing
That's a
sci-fi.
question, man.
We doing sci-fi. Let's move on.
Did y'all hear about Jamie Foxx saved the dude from a burning car?
Hey, you know JD's amazing.
Eric Bishop, the hero.
This joker do it all. He a comedian, an actor, a hero.
A singer.
The guy apparently crashed somewhere close to Jamie's house, and they have a clip of Jamie speaking on the situation.
I don't know how he must have hit hard because you can't see Jamie's house from the gate.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't.
Hey,
Jamie got that wrench and shit.
basically,
you know what I mean? That shit's way off the damn street.
Yeah, he say he heard a loud crash and looked out the window, seen a wreck, called the police,
Yeah.
immediately ran outside. Kudos to Jamie for even ran outside. A lot of people looking through the window just watching the vehicle burn and let that person die. So kudos to Jamie Foxx for that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Jamie said, your son's a fighter.
I'm
He
like,
said,
I got
I gotta give it to you, your son's a fighter.
Yeah.
Don't make the man cry and shit.
Fox, he's being called a hero for saving a man whose car was on fire.
Entertainment Tonight's Nancy O'Dell reports from Los Angeles on this daring rescue. Well, Christine and Chris, the Oscar winner actually pulled someone from a burning car. Here's what we know about the real-life action hero.
Multiple people trapped with vehicle on fire. Medic engine 32, engine 33, squad 31.
The crash happened at 8:30 last night right outside the gates of Jamie's Westlake Village home. Jamie rushed to the scene after he heard someone screaming because the car was on fire. ET spoke to an eyewitness this morning who told us Jamie reached inside, grabbed the guy, and dragged him 30 feet away from the car.
Before we start the story,
Reading
that house
into
back
the-
on?
I'm telling you.
What the hell is that apartment building or house and shit?
With a lake in front of it. What there was a man-made lake.
I know he can afford it, but damn, Jamie, that Ray money is good.
Screaming because the car was on fire. ET spoke to an eyewitness this morning who told us Jamie reached inside, grabbed the guy, and dragged him 30 feet away from the car. Reading into the police report, Jamie was not alone, but with an unidentified companion. He ran to the
Unidentified companion. I wanted y'all to hear Jamie talk about it. Hold on. Here you go right here.
That means faggot.
And I try to hit his seatbelt, but he's hovered over, so the seatbelt is on him. And so I grabbed the scissors from him, cut the seatbelt, but it's on his neck, but we cut it off of his neck. And then, as the flames do come into the cabin, I leaned back, but I think what it did, it hit his legs, which made him extend. Your son's a fighter. He extends out of the cabin, pull him out, and as we pull him out, within 5 seconds later, the truck goes up. It doesn't matter to me.
Hey, that fire make you move, man. He extended out. Jamie banked up when that flame came out. Like, hold up, don't mess up my face.
That's pretty dope, though, man.
Yeah,
he saved somebody, you know what I'm
man.
saying? He could have turned a blind eye. He could have waited and called.
Right.
And
look,
the emergency services wouldn't have arrived in time because he said as soon as he pulled the old boy out, the car went up in flames or the truck went up in flames.
He saved a life.
Hey, big up to Jamie. Great. He didn't have to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
He could have stood to the side and just played, you know what I'm saying, played telephone hero.
Been conservative.
Right. He would have got a lot of credit for just calling 911.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean?
But it'd have
he
been
did
too
the right
late.
thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's
what
right.
we do.
Add that to his credentials, man.
Yeah.
He's a hero too.
I'll put that on his resume.
He's a hero too now, man. Shout out to Jamie. I wonder who the person was in the house. It could have been old Katie.
Yeah.
Old Katie.
They have been whipping and nay-naying together for a minute.
You know, they say they not a couple, but she out there nay-naying.
Oh, when they start nay-naying, that means they get that black snake.
Yeah.
That Black Snake. She's like, I love your movie Black Snake. He be like, no, that's Sandy. Black Snake, mom. She was like, yeah.
Hey, but basically he said
he was great in Django.
Well, he said they not a couple, man. They just was dancing together at a charity event. They working on an animated movie together. So they friends. They good friends. But
that's what you always say when you go with your first white woman and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
How does Orville Redenbacher's podcast?
He don't want Cruz to blackball him, man.
Mm-hmm.
He want to work with Cruz one day, old Tom Cruise. So yeah, he got to say that.
Well, the good folks at Duck Dynasty decided to go the adoption route. They wanted another little one.
They got a little baby Gus.
Yep, they adopted a young man by the name of Gus.
Jules Augustus.
Jep and Jessica Roberts adopt baby Gus.
And they debuted him this week.
Yeah.
Good Morning America and shit. He came out with a $350 Louis Vuitton suit.
That he gonna throw up on later on.
Basically,
they asked him why Louis Vuitton. It was like it's part of his culture. I was like, what?
He had no YSL slippers.
I was like, why does he have Jordans on? And you guys have flip flops on. They was like, hey, we want to stay black, stay true to his roots.
That's crazy.
Hey, they basically want another child. They got 4 children already.
Yeah.
Want another child. She had complications with pregnancy, so they went the other route of adopting.
She had 4 kids. She couldn't hold one. It
was
fucking
the route.
twat was so big and shit.
She up in age. He 37.
Just dropping them out.
He 37. She 35, so she getting up in age.
She ain't had no more tension and shit.
They was
her elastic was gone.
This boy,
her ring around the rim was all stretched out.
You know,
she can't hold a baby. Her last baby, she shit out of uterus and shit. You know, so they had to go get Gus and shit.
They said they went to the adoption agency and said, we don't care what race, what gender. We just want to have a baby, so whatever happens, we got a little Gus. We got us a little Gus.
It was like, yo, it's going to take you 5 years to get a white baby, 3 years to get a Chinese baby, 2 years to get a Russian retard, or you get this black baby in a week.
They said it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
The first adoption fell through. The second one fell through because that person wanted an open adoption. They want a closed adoption.
Yeah.
So basically, meaning they want to basically cut all ties to the birth mother.
Okay, I was going to ask what.
Basically that's what it means. They want to cut all ties. They want to raise the child as their own, and they don't want to confuse the child. So they cut it off.
They just don't want the parent finding out that the baby's at Duck Dynasty, you know what I mean, and then trying to get some of that money.
Yeah, come and get
a check
out of there.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. They want you to sign away your rights. That way, hey, when Gus get his, you don't get nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gus is part of us, not a part of you.
Yeah, they already got him a job. He said he's gonna be at the call center when he get older.
Yeah. Gus said he gonna work at the call center already.
I mean, not Gus, but that's what they said. They said he already got a job. Willie Robinson already said he got a job at the call center as soon as he get older. So he forever paid already. So.
He said he wanted him to work in the family business, but just speaking to the adoption side of it, do you think that it's right that they don't want him to have any contact with his birth parents? Or is that something that'll work out as he's older? I know right now.
Once you're 18, you
can reach out and do what you want.
Okay, all right, cool.
Because you're going to always have questions.
Yeah, I'm good. I was going to say, because, you come from somebody, you don't know the mind state at the time, but you want to know them.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing they adopted a child,
Right.
Seriously. Anytime you give a child a better upbringing than they may have had, I'm all for it.
And adoption is 10 times better than what these kids are going through in foster care, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I grew up with some foster care kids, and I knew some that had great situations, but more had bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I knew a couple that had great ones, great families, mom and dad raised them and shit. Then there was like 10 other ones that they were just in straight bad situations. Dad, mom, and dad using them for fucking
the check.
You know, using them for a check and just whooping them
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
You know,
yeah.
So, big shout out to Duck Dynasty, man.
That's a good move.
You know, they calmed down some of the controversy.
I was ready to say, I heard, heard about the other stuff. But
Grandpa got his views. You know what I mean? Those guys dying out, and I'm sure once he start hanging around little Gus, and Gus sitting on his lap and shit.
That's right.
And then he go to Gus baseball game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
see the human,
right?
And not the color.
Right.
What he said though, I mean, he from my understanding, he was what he said. He said something about black people never complained back in the day because he used to work hand in hand with them.
Yeah, he gave
the
his
way he termed it. It was controversial.
He gave his view on segregation. You know what I mean? He was just like doing segregation. Those guys didn't ask for nothing. They did their own. You know what I mean? On integration. Don't quote me on this. Go Google it yourself.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you
a
generalization of the comment.
Yeah.
He's just saying that before segregation, we had ours.
Yeah.
After when the integration came, we kind of got like little lazy and shit. That's in that way. You know what I mean? I don't agree with him. You know what I mean? But
do your own research.
Right, do your own research. You asked about the statement. I gave a statement. That's all.
Because I also remember that in that article, it also said something about to the point that he was working beside them.
Right.
So he was working with him. He was struggling.
Right.
With him.
He had good.
So,
I don't know about struggling. He got good Christian values. You know what I mean? They're Bible toting Southern Baptists. You know what I mean?
Real. So,
and they believe what they believe. You know what I mean? Because they had the thing with the gays and all that.
Yeah.
You know. And they believe what they believe.
They good business people though. You can see that. They got steak in Zaxby's. They come out with the Duck Commander camouflage and all that.
Yeah.
But good move with Lil Gus, man. Hope you grow up and do something good, man.
Man.
Do some good stuff in this world. We at the end, man. But y'all leave some comments. Y'all subscribe. Appreciate all the love so far, man. I see y'all. We see y'all. Thank you for everything, and just stay tuned. More things, great things to come.
Thanks for supporting us. Thank you for the support.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Shout out to the world.
Yeah.
Kelly.Care.
Positive vibes.
Yep.
You know, nothing but positive vibes. Good comments, bad comments. We love them all because we take them all. That's part of the world, and that's how we're going to keep it moving.
That's right. We'll see y'all next time.